episode... Shit.
54.
54. Checkpoint check.
Why must I always remind you?
It's on the top there and I keep forgetting about it.
Don't you love this show like your own child?
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So we're just destined to never remember the date of...
Mm-mm.
Well, the
It's
date,
like
the episode
I'll never
number.
remember the podcast's birthday. I'll never go to its sports meets.
That's awards
It's
evenings.
terrible.
One day when you win
Yeah,
awards,
exactly.
I'll be there. Like, I'd like to accept this award. Alessandro couldn't be here because he forgot. He's at home.
Because he's an asshole podcast parent.
He's a bad parent.
Yeah.
I
Just in the bar
carried
getting
this
wasted.
podcast on my shoulders. Stayed up late, did its homework for it. Drove
I
it to
fed it
school.
when it woke up during the night.
Also, this podcast is 54 now. It should be out the house.
Yeah, it
Why
really
is it
should
still
be.
home?
Failure to launch.
What?
Isn't that the term? Like failure to launch when
Oh,
kids
failure.
don't- yeah. Leave the
I
house.
just said value to launch. So
Va-
what does that
value.
even mean?
I think it was a movie as well.
Such a millennial term.
It was Lenska's here, by the way.
We have commentary behind us. See, now Lenska and I are going to a family gathering in
Fun.
Pretoria later.
Fun, super fun.
So there's no time to leave Lenska at home because we have to go straight from here.
Time to leave Lenska at home.
Make the
Wow.
trek across the great South Africa.
You make
packed our
Lenska sound like a
passports.
pet.
She is.
Brought her in the house, didn't leave her in the car, cracked
put
the
her
window
in
or
the back
something.
seat.
My goodness.
She does
Wow.
like being driven though. So the back seat is her choice, not mine.
Okay. I can't sit in the back seat of a car anymore. I get
Wow.
very like motion sick.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you just throw up?
Well, no, I get very, very ill. Like, I mean, I used to, as a kid, always be in the back seat, but now I find the back seat. I don't know if it's because I'm now used to like driving, but whenever I'm in the back seat, I'm like, I don't feel super good.
Here's something to make you feel old. How many years have you been driving for now? How old are you now? 28?
Yeah,
27?
so I got my license
You've been driving nearly a decade.
9 years, yeah, because I got my
Let that
license
sink
late
in.
after my 18th year.
Oh wow, why'd you wait?
Because it was the year of the World Cup and stuff, so we had exams early, so I was just like, fuck it,
Nah.
whatever, yeah.
I'll Uber everywhere except Uber didn't exist.
Uber
back
didn't
then.
exist there. Can you think of a time when Uber didn't exist?
I know. Wait, I need to pull Lenska in here. Well, how old were you when you got your license? Second year. You
What, at
waited
varsity?
At varsity. You waited a whole... that boggles my mind because when the moment you turn 18, my first thing is like, I need to get my license because
Yeah.
I'm legal now.
I think Shani did something similar. She only got her license, I think, a week or two before she started varsity. I was like, that is terrifying. Like,
did
she's
that
like, yeah, the
happen?
first time I drove on the highway was 2 Wits. I was like, that's
Whoa.
terrifying.
How are you still
No,
alive?
yeah. That's horrible.
Were you in the back seat at the time?
No, hell no. I didn't even know Shani.
This
then,
is
thank goodness.
where your trauma started.
Yeah, oh my God, no. I've got a friend at work who studied at Wits as well, and she only got her license now when she started working. Because like she needed to drive to work. I was like,
How old is
that's
she?
crazy. Oh, she's like 21.
But still, you waited 3
studied
years.
I feel so old because I'm in like the grad group at work, but a lot of these grads are like, hey, I got into varsity the year after school and I only took 3 years. I didn't fail anything. So I'm like 21, 22. And here's me like, hey, I'm 27.
No, that's, well, the same sort of works for me because I studied out of high school. I think I've told the story, but I did RT. I hated it, dropped out,
Yeah.
worked for a couple of years, and only later went to study again. And there's me, like a 22, 23-year-old with 18-year-olds, fresh out of high school. And
Feels
anytime
good.
you got an assignment, they were like, oh man, an assignment. I was like, guys, it's not that bad. Real life is worse than varsity, trust me.
I just hate it because everyone, they like when people come talk in our grad group, they're like, they refer to us as children. And I'm like, I'm the same age as you, motherfucker.
I'm not a
you.
child.
Yeah. God, I hate it
If
so much.
I were a child, would I swear at you? No.
Yeah, exactly. Would I have the guts to swear at you? Yeah, exactly.
I'm old enough that I don't like being in the backseat of a car.
Yeah,
Take that-
exactly.
take
Yeah, take
that.
that. Take that. I also can't. I can't read in a car. Then I get immediately motion sick.
I don't have that, thankfully. Like, I have no issue reading in a car, no
Can't
issue
play games
playing
in a
Switch.
car.
You can't play Switch on a road trip. Oh, man. I have fond memories of last year driving to, where do we go? Like around the Drakensberg.
Oh, cool.
That's when I played a lot of Hollow Knight.
Ooh,
It was a good time.
in the car.
In the car.
Nice.
Many, many hours dying in the Colosseum. It was worth it.
No, I get as soon as I'll read like one page of a book and I'll
And
be
you
like,
throw
I'll
up.
be dead. Yeah, and I'll be sick for like hours. Like it's
Jesus.
the worst. It's
So what do you do in a car now? Do you just sleep?
Yeah, most of the time. I
That's not the worst thing.
I was really worried because I started reading Console Wars on the way to work in the car train.
What a book.
And I really thought, I was like, fuck, this
You're
is
gonna
motion
die.
again, and thankfully I'm fine. So
But the card, it's constant motion, I think.
yeah, I think it's like
different.
solid. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know why it happens, but I'm very glad it doesn't, because man, that book is A+.
It's so good.
Real good.
When we started the podcast, that's what I was talking about. So many episodes
whole year
ago. Now
ago.
we've come full circle.
I need to find books to read afterwards now, because I finished Jason Schreier's Blood, Sweat,
Oh,
and
did you
Pixels.
finish it now?
Yeah,
I want to
very good.
reread that as well.
Console Wars is good. I've heard a lot of people say I should read it.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
but that's a
also
really big book.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know. I prefer, what I like about Console Wars is that it feels like I'm reading a fictional book, but it's not
It's
fictional.
real life.
It's like real life. I mean, some of it is made up for dramatic effect, but it's like, whatever, I don't give a shit about
It blurs the line.
Yeah, it blurs
and I
the
like
lines
to think
really
that it's all 100% factual.
I mean, I think a lot of it is, because a lot of the stuff I recall reading from
Elsewhere,
reports somewhere
yeah.
else. So, yeah, they're making a TV series about the book.
Although they're making a movie, is it a TV show?
Yeah, so I don't know what happened to the plans for the movie, but it was definitely announced earlier this year that Seth Rogen, who writes the forward in the book, is busy helming a TV series for Hulu, I think, based on this book.
That's awesome. I'm glad, because it's not something you should tell over a movie.
Yeah, I was also thinking
there's a
that. I
lot
think a movie's
happening.
too short.
That could do it
Yeah.
like just a season.
You could
I
do
think.
you could break this up into seasons. Like the first season could be Sega and Nintendo, and the second season could be Sony's here now.
Yeah.
So you could really, it could be like a Mad Men-esque type of series.
Mad Men-esque.
Yeah,
That's
Mad
what
Men
they
is a
should
good
call it.
series.
I never watched it.
You're in advertising. You should watch that series.
Is it what is
it's
it about?
Interesting.
Interesting.
The whole thing is John Draper, who works at like one of the biggest ad firms in New York, I think it is.
Yeah.
But in the 1950s, 60s. It's really
okay.
fascinating. Like
Mad
they're
Men.
marketing cigarettes saying that they're healthy type of thing.
Well, that was at the time. It was like,
Yeah, at the time, that's what they thought.
do you have the flu? Smoke a pack of cigarettes. Like, why would you tell people to do
it's a
that?
real good series. It's a timepiece, because it shows you how not too long ago business was so different. Like women in the workplace were treated so badly then, but also even men, just like how. Yeah, you need to watch a series. It's
How many
really
seasons
complex
are
and
there?
It's like 7 seasons.
Oh my god!
It's all on
so
Netflix.
many. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
We started watching How I Met Your Mother yesterday again.
Oh,
Which I haven't watched. Lensk and I were busy. Like we had dinner and like, what are we gonna watch?
like when
And
you
then-
want something like lighthearted.
Yeah, and
easy,
then that popped up like, We both sat down like
How I Met Your
we
Mother's a
both
good
haven't we haven't finished the show. We never did. So we don't
Oh,
actually
really?
know who the mom,
Oh,
the
really?
mom is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I finished it.
I never did. So we'll get there. I
Okay.
think. Well, it's a good time.
My easygoing thing now is New Girl, because I've never watched New Girl.
Is that on Netflix?
Yeah, well, it's on American Netflix.
Oh.
So I've been plowing through that. I think I'm on season 5 of 7
It's a
now.
good
It's
time.
so good.
Yeah,
It's
I need to
really
rewatch
good.
that.
Yeah, it's Lenska's just like yes.
I don't know if the marks are
Zoe
picking up,
Deschanel's
but she's
very
like,
strange though.
yeah,
she's-
she's cool though.
Shame they rip on her eyes even in the series. And I'm just like, she's got
What's
lovely
wrong with her
eyes.
eyes?
I don't know.
I don't know
Apparently-
either.
Yeah, she's got lovely eyes.
Maybe you have to see her in real life. I'm like, what's wrong with your eyes?
No, but that series is dope. I really enjoy it. But I know what you mean. You need lighthearted stuff. Like when I'm eating or something, it's like I don't want to watch something serious.
Yeah,
Right
wanna
now, I just
be
want something.
just be chilled.
Yeah, I don't want to watch Game of Thrones or something.
Final episode. Are you ready?
I feel like I have to get up in the morning to watch it because
Please do.
Twitter is
Wait,
just
you-
absurd.
You go to work or you can go to work at whatever time you want.
No. I've got to be in the office now at 9. So
You can still do it though if you get up at 6:30.
Jesus
Although it's a long
Christ.
episode.
yeah, it's a long
Yeah.
ass episode.
That's what I've been doing
I'll make a
though.
plan.
This season, no drama for me. I get up, watch the episode, no drama.
Man, I feel like it's going to be a big last episode. It's kind of weird.
There's
that
a
it's
lot
the
of
last
loose
one,
ends
yeah.
to tie up, but hey,
Yeah,
that's
this Checkpoint Chat, not Game of Thrones chat.
not series chat
Talk about games,
and series.
not on Thrones.
We talk about series and cars, and
Cars?
food. Yeah, not throwing up in the back of cars.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh,
Right.
come on,
I was
pay
like,
attention.
what cars
Bad
do we talk
parent.
about?
See, this is you not paying attention to the podcast. So what have we been playing?
We've been playing the same game this week, eh?
What are you
Or this
talking
week.
about?
Rage 2. I don't like this game.
Rage
I'm going
2.
to put it out there right now. I
I'm gonna
do not like this
Come
game.
out and say that when I started the game, I thought, it's pretty cool. Shooting's fun. But after 9 hours, I'm like,
And that's not even that long.
how long is the game? You finished it.
I don't know.
now.
I finished it. Must have been about 10 or 12 hours.
Okay,
I
that's,
mainlined a lot
okay,
of
that's
it, though.
fine because I've reached a point now where I'm like, I'm just gonna mainline it.
I was thinking about it yesterday. There's only about 10 actual main missions in that game.
Yes, yesterday when
It's very bizarre.
I started ignoring the side stuff and started doing the main missions, like because just we'll back up a bit, but there's essentially 3 characters you need to like tick their boxes.
3 companions.
I did 2 of them yesterday with like minimal effort. I was like,
And
okay.
So wait, so you got the things that they needed.
Yeah.
That means you're 2 missions from the end of the game.
Oh wow, okay.
Because once you get the 3rd one, you have your final mission. That's it.
That's it. Oh no,
It's so weird. This game is so okay. So Rage 2 takes place 30 years after the first game.
I never played the first one. Just putting that.
I played the first one, and I know it had its issues, but in my memory, like I haven't played it in years, I remember enjoying it quite a bunch. That was developed by id.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was slammed for its open world is bland and there's nothing to do, which was 100% true, but its shooting was really good. And I remember that being the case. The first one was also a lot grittier. This one's very playful.
I think it's done like, I never played the first one, but I remember it being almost darker.
Yeah, it's darker and more serious.
This one's done like a full 180 and it's way over the top.
Yeah, it's extremely over the top.
Extremely over the
like
top.
Embracing the wacky, zany, post-apocalyptic vibes that, like Borderlands does and stuff.
Thing is though, like, just on that note, I find that it's trying too hard to be like zany, which like I can commend them for that, but there are times I'm like, this is just way over the top. Like they're pushing into it a little bit too hard, I feel. But I don't know, like I think Borderlands, sorry to compare the two, but they are very similar, at least in setting. Borderlands is ridiculous, but it's almost done more tastefully to an extent.
It's almost done more tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, it's not like so in your face that I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, but I also find this one hardly has any... I feel like the world is really bland.
Yeah, it's weird because they try very hard, but at the end it still ends up being very forgettable.
I feel like it doesn't have an identity. Like put it this way, if you saw Rage being played in a room and no one told you what it was, it would be very easy to mistake it for something else. I think it has no thing where it's like, oh, that's distinctly Rage 2. Except for everything being pink, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a nice little touch.
Yeah, it's a nice little aesthetic. I kind of like the visual color. The color is really nice. But other than that, the world is super forgettable. Like the enemies, the factions, like I don't understand what differentiates them or what drives them. They're just like, there's only like 3 different types of enemies, really.
Like 3 or 4. Like there's a couple,
like
but
it's the authority, the shrouded.
There's mutants.
Oh, the mutants! I forgot about the mutants. Yeah.
Yeah, then the regular bandits.
Yeah,
I guess.
regular bandits. Yeah, and I don't know. It's just, I feel like this game again. It's like Days Gone. It's just like waiting to kick into another gear, and then it ends.
Yeah,
it just never does. It never gets to that point.
I don't know. I don't even know where to begin.
So it is open world. It's 30 years after the first game, and you are a nondescript ranger walker.
Yeah,
you can be a
walker text
a guy or a girl.
Yeah, which I never realized I chose a guy.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was a choice, but I was like, let me go something different. The voice acting either way is terrible. I think the voice acting all around is terrible.
The male voice actor, like, I don't have an issue with it, but I don't think it's an exceptional anything.
I think the characters, all your NPC characters are bad. Like they are. The lip sync is off. The lines that they read are bad. The deliveries like very one note and bad. And so basically, game opens and there's an attack on the base of some kind, and this dude, General Cross, who I think is from the first game.
General Ang. It is. So I never played the first one, but yes, I remember you tweeting saying like the game expects you to just know what happened in the first one.
Yeah, because it opens up with this huge exposition dump, and it's like, this happened in the first game. The arcs came down. I'm like, fuck, I sort of remember this, but I don't really. Like again, the story of the first game was not its high point.
Yeah.
So, but then it's like, man, I hope to God you remember what happened in the first game.
Yeah, I ended up reading the wiki, and I think General Cross was in the first game, and then Marshall, one of the characters you help.
Yeah,
he's also from the first one.
So is Dr.
And the Doctor,
Kvasir,
yeah. But I was like, there's no... I mean,
remember
I
Dr.
don't
Kvasir
expect
from
games
the
to have
first
it, but some games do a really good job of saying like, oh, hey, did you miss the first one? Here's like a quick recap or
Especially
something.
when like the first game was so long ago and also not like super widely regarded. That seems like a weird choice to just like throw you in, expecting you to kind of understand. But anyway, so you get this like attack on your base. This General Cross dude kills your mentor, and then the whole game is just like, cool, I'm gonna kill this dude because he killed my mentor, and that is literally the entire through line of the entire game. So you meet up with 3 companions. It's the Dr. Kvasir, it's Marshall,
the mayor,
and the mayor of
Marshall and
Wellspring,
whose name I cannot remember for the last.
So basically, they had a project to bring down the authority, and you've got to kind of like restart that.
Yeah, well, that's funny though. It's because your mission is like, okay, we're gonna kill this guy, and it's like, well, we're gonna need weaponry and stuff to take him down.
We're gonna need MacGuffin A, B, and C.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, but why don't we just go straight to the guy? Because you're a ranger now. You have powers.
Badass soldier.
Yeah, you mow through everything. Well, why do you need this item or that thing?
So it's very weird because you get given the locations of these 3 people at the beginning, so you're free to go to them in whatever order. And basically the structure is this: you find them, they agree to help you, they give you a mission, you do that mission. So that's, now we're keeping count, so that's one mission, right? Then you have to level up they have like each of them has like a level which is connected to a bunch of side quests. So certain side quests will increase the level of that character. So you have to level them all up to, I think it's level 5.
Is that compulsory?
Yeah, because it doesn't explicitly say that, but I finished all the missions and then nothing popped up.
Oh, so you just ended up doing side stuff.
So I did side stuff, and I was really close because, like, especially for Dr. Kvasir, it seems like everything you do
just helps
is
him.
for him.
Yeah.
So he was very close.
Okay.
So I did like one thing, and then he was level 5, and then next thing he gave me a mission.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, they don't tell you that at all.
No, it's not explicit.
I think I was just lucky in that when I started the game, I did a bunch of side stuff. Like if I was driving to an objective, I just did whatever I saw on the way.
Same, because I thought, oh, this is interesting.
And by the time I got, I went to the doctor last. By the time I got to him, I think he really was on like level 5. So I didn't even realize that.
So I think that, so basically you do the mission, get them to level 5, then they give you another mission, and then that's it. You've done 2 missions for that character, and that's it. I think the only one that's different is Marshall has 3. So he gives you 2 separate ones. And then once you've completed each of those 2 or 3 missions for each, so that's like what? That's maximum 9 missions.
Like,
7, 8.
It's like 7
then you
to
get
9,
one final one, and that's it. That's the end of the game.
10 missions, yeah.
And the rest of the game is just repetitive cookie cutter side quest stuff.
In the first 2 hours of the game, I think you've probably seen, besides like the mini bosses, you've probably seen every kind of enemy
type
you can
of
see.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And the side missions I don't think are that interesting. It's like bandit camp, clear all the enemies.
It's literally shoot everything.
Or
inside.
the authority sentries. Man, the amount of times I heard my character go, another authority sentry. I'm like, oh. It's the same line delivered in the same way.
What are the purpose of those sentries anyway? They're just
I don't know.
giant turrets
and they're really
that are
easy to kill.
Yeah.
They're extremely easy to kill. There's a vehicle that you can get from the authority that takes no damage from these things. So you just you just stand in front of it and shoot until your weapon overheats, and then stop, and then shoot. I did it. I've got it recorded like 3 times. I'm like, who thought this was fun? Who?
No, man, that's ridiculous.
And then what are the other ones? There's roadblocks, which are just like bandit camps in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Destroy the gas canisters at petrol
that
stations.
one was pretty fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still
same thing. Kill people.
Kill everyone. Clear the camp.
The
and then
hidden mutants. I found 2 of them. They were pretty cool.
The hidden mutants.
They're like hidden boss fights. Yeah.
I've done one mission where I was basically in a sewer and I had to destroy a whole lot of pods.
Oh, I did that one as well. That one was pretty cool.
No, that's pretty cool.
That was frantic because there were a lot of enemies.
There are a lot of enemies. Yeah.
I found all the instances where mutants are involved as enemies are the better parts of the game.
Because you like very close to getting overwhelmed regularly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've also found so there's a lot of boss characters. They repeat a lot of them, especially that stupid mechanized one that you have to shoot the shields. I think I killed about 6 of him in the story missions because they just use him as
all the time. Yeah.
And I found them that you can cheese them incredibly easily. As long as you stay very close to them, they can't do anything
Oh, yeah?
to you. Yeah. I find if you try to be like tactical, like, oh, I'm going to use my dash ability to avoid his attacks, or I'm going to, keep some distance, or never worked out for me. I just basically got up in their face, shot like really close to them, and just kept moving around in a circle. And no matter which type, whether it was that mechanized one or the mutant one in the Sur, they couldn't do shit.
That's
So
interesting.
yeah, it took like a lot of strategy out of it.
Yeah. This game, man, it's disappointing because
It's
we
incredibly
we
disappointing.
really
yeah.
thought it was going to be not surprise hit, but just a hit.
I thought it would be
because it looked
good,
good
like, yeah.
by the trailers, and honestly, like the fact that they did take the spin and they made the game more zany. I was like, that's cool. Like lean into that.
And also, like, it was Rage, like, after the first Rage and how badly it sold and, critically wasn't a huge hit, like, I was like, well, never getting another one of those. So for it to get a sequel, I was like, holy shit, this is a huge chance. I hope they, they take it with both hands and really, and it's just
I don't know.
not that.
So what you said, the first game got slammed for having a bland open build.
All the things that the first game got slammed for, this game just repeats.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I was
that's
saying.
what confuses me so much. Like the first game, its story was too self-serious and not that good. And in this one, the story is just nonsensical and useless.
Yeah.
The open world had nothing to do. This one, you have stuff to do, but it's all repetitive.
It's repetitive.
But it's the same thing. Like, I find the most boring parts of the game are when I have to drive across the map to somewhere else because nothing happens.
I hate it.
It's
I hate
so
it so
bad.
much.
It's like I'm actively looking for ways to fast travel because I generally just don't like driving. The driving doesn't even feel that good.
No, it's. I think Jeff and I both agree on this. That there's something feels off with the game in terms of the shooting and the driving. And he said it's basically there's no like friction or no gravity. I guess it feels very floaty. So yeah, I mean the driving. I don't know. It feels off.
Did you ever get a bike?
No.
The camera on the bike is the most crazy thing I've ever seen.
It took me a while to get used to the default camera on your first car anyway.
Man, the camera on the bike is so close to the back of your character, and then it just swings wildly when you turn. I'm like, who thought this was a good idea? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like feedback in the game that's just missing. It often feels like you were saying on the driving. I noticed when Jeff told me that as well. Like, there's no vibration on your controller for accelerating or doing like a drift or anything. It only vibrates when you boost.
Oh, really?
So it feels weird because it's like you're not connected to the ground almost.
Yeah, you're floating through the air, basically.
There's a lot, man. The menu, the way it lags.
I hate the menu so much.
Yeah, the way it lags.
Okay, we can actually
weird.
touch on that. So the fact that you open the menu and there's a lot of sub menus.
Oh,
and
so many.
You need those because everything in this game can be leveled up or configured in some way.
It's a mess.
It's too much stuffed into one game. Honestly, it's like, okay, you've got your suit, so you've got your nanotrites abilities, which you can tweak, and you've got your guns, which you can level up, and then you can also add mods to them. You've got your projects, which you can. Also, those are the skill trees from each character.
Yeah, skill trees for each NPC that are like perks essentially for your character.
But why does the menu lag? I don't understand. Like, there's a lot going on, but it's like I want to quickly. I've just leveled up, whatever. Let me go put these points into this project. Open up the menu, lag. Okay, I need to tab to the projects menu. Lag. Oh
God, I hate
lag.
it.
Then you open it, then lag. Scroll down, lag. Like, why?
Honestly,
how is this not like QA'd or optimized?
I stopped like engaging with that menu just because of that. Like, it was just frustrating always to open it.
You know how much that put me off? Because I do sit and think, like, I've been skimping through a lot of the logs and the lore that you pick up. But because I don't want to open my menu.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I doing the game a disservice? Because I don't know, maybe
not really. The logs aren't that good.
Yeah, but I'm like, maybe the world is interesting and like, it fleshes out characters and I'm like, I don't even want to read it because it's going to be such a pain to get there.
But all the customization is so confusing because like most of it uses the same resources that Feltrite or whatever.
It is, yeah.
So it's like you need that to unlock abilities for your like nanotrite abilities, which are like your superpowers.
Your suit superpowers.
So like you can force push someone, or you can jump in the air and slam, or you can create a barrier, or you can dash, stuff like that. Look, those powers are actually cool because they kind of change up combat a bit. And I like when there's like an armored enemy. It's like, cool, I've got to get up close to him. I've got to slam him.
That reminds me a lot of Bulletstorm, just the combat in general.
Yeah. The combat reminds me a lot of Bulletstorm.
Yeah. But
especially because like you've got a multiplier that you build up so that you can go into like overdrive and but yeah, so you need that resource for those abilities to unlock them. Then you need to spend this resource, Feltrite, to unlock levels for your guns, but then you need a separate resource to install mods. So that's 2, and that's for each gun. Yeah. And I find that all of these are very expensive. Then for projects, you need a separate resource, which is like a nondescript level up thing to unlock levels for each perk. Then you need a 4th resource, which is like car auto parts to upgrade your vehicles.
Oh yeah.
Then you have a whole subsection of like chemical component, mechanical component, and explosive component. Those 3, which you can use to craft health items, wing sticks, grenades, and that's in a whole other menu. It's confusing.
A lot, yeah.
It's not confusing. Like I understand it, but it's so dense and unwieldy. It's like it's unfocused. It doesn't know what it wants to do.
It's weird because I was thinking yesterday, because when I started the game, I thought, shit, this is really fun. But the more I played, the more I'm like, oh man, like it's just not feeling good anymore. And I thought like, well, how do you fix it? And I almost just want to be like, this is a sort of game, you make it like Doom in that it's a linear, you get a nice, a nice progression. Like you don't need to make it an open world. Or like you can make it a big map that you have to drive from one point to another, maybe.
But even that may be scripted.
Yeah, scripted. But you make it more linear, and then the progression will feel better. Whereas now it's sort of like I get they say, here's your open world, go play in it, do it at your own pace. But then I don't know, it becomes a bit overwhelming and confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, even the weapons. You and I were talking, I think before we started recording, you had 4
I only
weapons.
found half the weapons in the game.
I've been playing with the pistol, the assault rifle, and the shotgun for 9 hours.
And I really didn't feel like I've missed out on anything.
No, I've leveled them up. They work fine. I haven't hit a wall where I'm like, shit, I need a better weapon for this. But it's like I've got most of those mods done, and the guns are leveled up. Whereas what makes a game like Doom great to me, for example, is that there's always that progression of you get a new weapon, you use it for a while, you're like, okay, I'm used to this weapon, and they give you a new one. You play that weapon for a while, and you start mixing it with your existing arsenal, level up here and there. Oh, but here's a new one. Whereas here it's like I've hit a ceiling, and I don't know.
It's like, Doom gives you the tools that you need just when you're starting to struggle, and you're like, man, this new big enemy, I can't remember a lot of the names, but like is really giving me some trouble. And then it gives you like the super shotgun or the Gauss rifle. It's like,
you're like, this is what I need.
This is what I needed. Rage is just like, there's these arcs around the world, and you can go find them at any point. Like, because I found a lot of the side stuff says this is difficulty 1 out of 10 or 3 out of 10. All that shit never made a difference to me.
The only time it made a difference, I think, was with the Shrouded. They were quite armored. I was like, okay, they're a bit harder to take down.
And the authority sentries fucked me up when they were high level.
But otherwise,
I went to an arc that was like level 8, like within my first hour, and I fucking just blazed through there, no problem.
That doesn't make any sense.
And those arcs have like weapons or nanotrite abilities for you to gain. So I finished the game getting all the arcs that I could see on the map. The rest are like hidden, so you have to follow clues to find them. So I only had 4 out of the 8 weapons, and I only had 2 out of the 4 abilities. And I never ever felt like I needed more.
No.
Even then, I felt like I wasn't using my Firestorm revolver that much. I primarily stuck to my assault rifle and the shotgun. And I upgraded them as much as I could. And I only used that force push ability when people were armored, and I hardly used slam.
Yeah, the slam.
And I was like, I never came across enemies where I was like, man, I really need something here. Or like, maybe I should come back when I'm stronger. Like, I never ever felt that.
I don't know. I just think this game could have benefited being more distilled. I mean, it's an open world, and it took you how long to finish it? It
doesn't need to be open world.
It does. It took you 10 to 12 hours for an open world game. That's almost laughable.
There's not enough in that open world to justify it, because all the side stuff is boring. Like, cars don't even shoot at you when you drive past them on the road. Like, driving is just mundane and boring, because it's like, oh, everything's so far away. I need to drive there. And also, like, the game almost penalizes you for not driving on the road, because your car's like super slow when it's off road.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've noticed that.
It's so weird. As soon as you're not like on the path it wants you to take, it's like you're gonna go a tenth of your speed. Like,
and then let's not forget that swamp area, which is an absolute
Lord.
pain to
Yeah,
drive. I got there last
water and
night
stuff.
to get to the doctor's
Dr.
base.
Cavassier, yeah.
I hate it so
Yeah,
much.
it's a
I hate
pain
it
to
so
drive.
much.
And then like I was telling you, I got a bike that can hover across stuff, and like it has no boost, so it's slower, but at least I don't have to deal with like driving off road. And then I was still on the map because I'm going, bird's eye view directly to my waypoint, and the game just reloaded. It was like, nah,
no, you have to take the road.
You have to take the road, and it didn't tell me that. It's just like suddenly, like load screen. I was like, oh, is there a cinematic or something? And it's just like
No.
it plopped me back where I got onto the vehicle. So I was like across the map. I was just like, fuck this. I was so ready to just turn off the game at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not good.
Yeah, the only redeeming thing is
the combat's fun.
The combat's fun, but even then, I'm like, I've played 9 hours with the shotgun and the assault rifle, and
the shotgun is very good.
It's great, and it's like it is fun, but I'm like, shit. It would be nice to mix it up with other stuff, but in order to get that stuff, I need to go like
engage with this open world that I hate.
I'm like, I don't want to engage with the open world, so. Yeah.
The shotgun is what I do like is how the weapons each have like an alt fire, which isn't just like the shotgun, for example. The shotgun is a normal shotgun, and when you aim down the sights, it compresses all its bullets into like one.
It makes it a bit more long range.
Yeah, but it's also like an air burst. So I often used it when mutants who were like on fire and exploding were running at me. I'd shoot them back into another group of enemies, and they'd explode, and that felt really good.
Yeah.
I like that. I like how the Firestorm revolver is cool because you basically shoot slugs into people and it doesn't damage them, but then you click alt fire and then all your bullets like ignite. So you can like shoot a bit into a barrel, shoot a bit into a guy, and then snap your fingers,
cool,
and it's like pff, it's like that's a Thanos snap thing.
Oh,
really
I don't feel so good.
Yeah. I like how that all integrates, especially with that overdrive ability, how that gives all your weapons like a third thing. Yeah. Like the shotgun overdrive ability is really good.
It eats through everything.
It's like a widespread and long range shotgun shells. It's really good.
Yeah, everything just melts.
The combat's fun.
Yeah, the combat's great.
And that's the stuff that id Software kind of advised on, because I think there's a lot of miscommunication on this game. id Software didn't develop this game. They advised Avalanche Studios. But it's not even done in the id Tech engine. It's done in Avalanche's Just Cause engine, which I think it looks fine. It doesn't look that great, but it looks okay.
One thing I will commend the game on, especially after playing Days Gone, its load times aren't awful.
Oh god, yeah.
When I fast traveled, it was never a thing of like, oh man, I've got to fast travel. It's like, oh.
And when you died, it was pretty quick.
Very quick. Whereas Days Gone was like, oh man. Oh no.
But we are playing two very different versions of the game. You're playing a normal PS4.
Oh yeah.
Yours is like locked at 30 frames.
Yeah,
which is terrifying.
So are you on 60 FPS then?
Well, for 80% of the time.
Okay,
it's at 60, but when it dips, holy shit, it dips. Bad? Yeah, it's bad.
So like I'm not at all a console snob or a PC snob. Like I'll play anything on anywhere. But this is one of those exceptions where I was like, shit, I really wish I'd got this on PC. Just purely because the 30 FPS, I don't know, it doesn't feel right.
No,
it really doesn't feel right.
I can't imagine playing that game.
Even just I don't know if it's because of the FPS, but the controlling itself, like it feels off for me. And I've wrapped my head around it a little bit, but it's still not quite there. There's something. It either moves too fast or it's too slow, and I just can't find the middle ground.
Did you have to play around with the menu quite a bit? Yeah, I spent ages trying to find a good like middle point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Surprise. We've got guests in this episode.
Yeah, I spent ages trying to find a middle ground which felt good. Yeah, so I don't know. It's weird. It's not a great. I put it this way: if you're looking for something to play through in a weekend, I think you can do worse than Rage 2. But I also don't think you should spend $60 or full price on this game.
I do know there will be people that will enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%. And there are
fine.
people like you just have to look at some of the reviews. Some people gave it 8, some people gave it 5s, and I think it depends what really resonated with you. But I put it this way: this won't stick in my head like the first Rage did, where I appreciated its flaws but still liked the game.
Yeah.
Like I actively, in the last few hours, I was praying for an end to this. Like I could not deal with it
I'm so glad you told me it's it took you, 10 to 12 hours.
Jesus,
Because
yeah.
in my head, I know I'm getting, it feels like I'm getting close to the end. And I'm just waiting for it to pull a Days Gone and be like, surprise.
Man, I
There's
can't,
a whole-
I can't wait for you to get to the end, and it's just the most ridiculous way to end, because you're like, this is like the climax of the story, next thing it's just like credits. And you're like, what? You're just like, that makes no sense. Why did that happen there?
Well, this is the one time I'm grateful, because Days Gone did it a few times where
It's like,
you're
oh,
like,
this is
the end.
end.
And it says, nope, here's a whole new side of the map to explore. And I keep thinking Rage is going to pull one of those, because I've explored most of that map, and I fully expected to say, oh, hey, there's a whole
another
other region.
section.
No,
Oh,
I'm
that
just,
map's way too big as
No.
well, like,
yeah.
for what's in there. Oh,
Goddamn.
yeah.
That's
so
Rage 2, though.
not
Fun pew
not
pew,
great.
but
Yeah,
I don't know.
fun shooting every now and then. Good for a weekend to kill, but man, what a disappointment! I find a real knock against Bethesda's quality. I think, because they've been churning out some
been
really good games.
They've been churning out games that are they don't knock people. Well, they're almost niche in that they mostly critically acclaimed, but it feels like no one plays them, and not a lot of people pick them up.
Yeah.
I mean, think of Prey 2, Dishonored, those sort of titles where people love them.
like Dishonored 2 and Prey were
really good, but it
games.
feels like
yeah,
they not.
they flew
I
under
don't
the
know,
radar.
They just
but
fly under the
yeah.
radar, and this is one of those games where it's just going to fly under the radar, but it's not, doesn't even redeem itself by being a surprise hit.
But it's like 2 games in a row now that Bethesda's just like, I feel
What is it?
gravely
Previous one?
misfired on. It was like Fallout 76, which was a huge problem.
Who could forget Fallout 76?
And that's more of a problem for them because they developed it. Like Rage 2, they just published. But yeah, Rage 2 is a misfire. I think.
Okay, we've got Doom coming.
Yeah, we've got Doom coming,
That's-
and we've got that Wolfenstein expansion with the two sisters, which
I
looks
still need
really
to play
good.
the Wolfensteins.
And that one, apparently, it's got Arcane working on it as well, so it's going to have more open-ended levels like Dishonored. And I'm like,
That's cool.
I'm down. I'm there for that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Rage 2, pick it up on sale, I'd say.
All I
would not
can
pick it
think
up
is
now.
that I need a palate cleanser. I
Yeah,
need something.
I'm playing another game which I can't chat
Oh,
about,
no,
and
next
that is hitting all
the right
buttons.
right
yeah,
notes,
really
yeah.
good. What do you mean next week? You're not here next week.
I mean, surprise! I'm not here next weekend. I'll have to listen to episode 55. But otherwise, yeah, I've just finished Celeste B-sides. Great time, but the game's not done. I finished
C-sides.
I finished the 7 B-sides, but there's an 8th one. The final level, there's a B-side, and then there are C-sides. So I'll get to
My
that.
goodness.
And I finished Days Gone, but yeah.
Deflating that,
Yeah.
eh? What a
I
deflating
really
ending
need
that
but
was.
Celeste is great, but I need
Celeste is
another-
like your pocket of fun in
it
between
is
these two
I need
mediocre games.
a really great, I don't know, AAA title now to bring me back to joy on my PlayStation or PC.
Fair enough. Oh well, we like approaching E3, and there's a lot of good stuff coming out next month,
Oh
man.
boy,
There's a
can't wait.
Crash Team
Crash
Racing.
Team Racing. Oh,
There's
man.
Super Mario Maker 2. Did you see that direct?
I haven't watched the direct, but does it look good?
So good.
I need that. In
So
my
there's like there's loads more stuff to build.
yeah?
Way more stuff. But there's also a story mode.
That's
so there's 100 levels crafted by Nintendo for you to play.
That is so weird because I was listening to Kind of Funny, and Tim Geddes I never played the first Mario Maker. He was saying the one thing that he felt was such a letdown from Nintendo is that they gave you the tools, but the people who use Nintendo's tools the best is Nintendo.
Yeah.
They never gave an actual campaign or anything in the
That was my biggest criticism.
And
of the
then
first one,
and he was saying he just hopes that in Mario Maker 2 there's
a campaign.
a campaign, and hey, there we go.
It's really cool.
That's cool.
It's and just the way I find like all the building stuff seems a bit more intuitive this time just by looking at it, and there's a lot more options for you to make certain types of levels. There's also ways to make levels for like multiplayer, so that you
that's
can
cool.
have 4-player races in them or 4-player co-op in
That's
them.
awesome.
2 people can work on a level at the same time, which is
Oh
really
wow,
awesome.
that's very cool.
The only thing I'm wary about is how it controls, because I mean, obviously the first one used the Wii U gamepad. So you can still use a stylus and build it in, portable mode on the Switch with the stylus. But on the screen,
I don't know.
I'm curious to see how that works with the controller.
Yeah.
But it looks dope.
That's
Mario
cool.
Maker 2 looks
I think
really good.
it'll be such a perfect fit on the Switch.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I'm excited for
That's
that,
cool.
and that's also
That's next
like
month.
I think it's the same day as Crash Team Racing.
I know. What are you gonna do?
My Switch is gonna get work that week.
You're gonna get work.
Yeah. Should we move on to
Gaming releases.
gaming
Yes.
releases?
Gaming releases.
I need to talk into the mic when I do this because I realize that
Oh, you look away.
when I look away, I'm suddenly like
Okay,
really soft.
this game called is coming out on May.
So we're looking at games
May.
releasing from March 18th. May 18th.
Wow. Went back in time.
Yeah, I went back in time. May 18th to what's Friday?
25th?
The 24th.
24th.
Payday.
Ooh, payday.
Payday.
I need that payday. Those public
Yeah,
holidays
your-
effed with my wallets.
Jesus, so many games coming out 21st and 22nd.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit this week, but I don't know how much of it is all good.
Pick your favorites. Or ones that you
Assassin's
think.
Creed 3 Remastered coming to Switch on May 21st. I really
Which
don't like
one's
that
that?
game.
Is that the American Revolution one?
It's like my least favorite Assassin's Creed.
America.
Everybody's Golf VR, May 21st.
Ooh.
We got a code for that. I haven't redeemed it yet.
Oh, yeah, well, that's yours. I don't have VR.
Oh yeah, there's a trio of Resident Evils coming to Switch this week.
I forgot about it. I think we mentioned that last week. Is
Yeah.
that 4? Is
Resident Evil 0,
Yes.
Resident Evil HD Remaster,
And then 4.
and Resident Evil 4. And
F4
each of those is
$40.
$40, which I
Yeah.
find absurd.
I was just going to say, if 4 ever goes on sale, I'll 100% pick it up. I'd love to replay that.
Oh, we were just talking about this now. City Skylines is getting a
interesting.
campus expansion on PC
Interesting.
May 21st. I think City Skylines is on Switch as well, if I'm not mistaken.
But I think it's a game you should play on PC. though.
Definitely, yeah. I think you need a mouse for that. Observation, which I've seen a lot of people chatting about. It's like a narrative adventure thing coming to PC and PS4 May 21st.
Nice.
Slay the Spire coming to PS4. That's a
That's a deck. A couple of my friends have been played
Isn't
that
it
on PC and they loved it.
roguelike?
Yeah, it's
of
a
some
car,
sort?
like a deck building roguelike game, as far as I know. That's cool. So it's coming to PS4 now.
Yeah. Fission Superstar X. Need to see what this is.
What?
Need to see what this is.
Something Superstar X.
Fission Superstar X. Whoa, what the
Mr. X
fuck is
gonna give it
this?
to you.
X gonna give it to you. I found that all these games with weird names always choose very curious fonts for their logos. Like
What is this?
like this one. What is this?
What
Oh,
is
that's
that?
a really cool character design. Looks like Neocortex from another
man.
universe. Blast off in Dr. Leopold's bomber in this relentless roguelite shooter to the solar system in a desperate and randomly generated bomb run.
Okay.
Face impossible odds to achieve the demented dream of an insane scientist. I don't know. This
Okay.
is strange. It's got a cool art style.
Yeah, that's pretty
Except
neat.
for the logo. I really don't like that logo.
Please get
The developer
get a
is
new-
called Turbo Pelvis 3000. Turbo Pelvis.
That is like drawn out of a hat.
Turbo.
Turbo pelvis. Also, the name of a sex toy near you.
Yeah, definitely. Killing Floor double feature coming to PS4 and PSVR. Can't imagine playing Killing Floor in VR.
Oh no,
No, hell no.
that must be insane.
Dauntless is finally getting its full release on PS4 and Xbox One.
What is Dauntless again?
Dauntless is like a
Isn't it a
Monster
MOBA?
Hunter like. No, it's not a MOBA. I also thought it was a MOBA though, because I think there was one that was similarly named, but it's a Monster Hunter like thing. Beat Saber is getting its official launch on PC May 21st. This is really cool because so it's been in early access for Oculus. And
Isn't it officially out on PSVR? though?
Yes, so they pumped that version out and angered a lot of PC people because they're like,
just
hey,
yeah,
how
we've
the
been
hell?
playing for yeah.
So this is getting a bunch of new songs, but the biggest thing is that it's getting an official track builder. So people will be able to use inside and build their own tracks instead of doing it illegally.
Through the fire and the flames, here we come.
Jesus. It beats it.
Oh my God,
I'm
can you
pretty sure
imagine?
that exists. And
It
we need to
must,
see
and
it.
it's impossible.
I'm keen on that. I really kind of want to buy an Oculus Quest, which is the
Is that the-
standalone one.
And
just for
the,
Beat Saber.
the more affordable one.
Well, they're both. So Oculus Rift S, which is the new Rift, is also $400. But obviously you need a beefy PC
Yeah,
to
go
play
with
that. But the Quest is also $400.
Standalone.
What I like about both of them is both of them use the inside-out tracking. So no need to set up cameras.
That's
The Rift is one cable into your PC. That's the Quest is no cables.
Yeah. I was telling Lenska the other day, the only reason I've never gotten into VR is purely because I do not want the admin.
Oh, the admin's crazy.
It's too much.
Even PSVR, it's too much, man.
Plug these cables in,
and then you get Valve, who are like, cool, we're going to charge you $1,000 for ours, and you still need to set up the 2 cameras in the corner of your rooms and all the cables, and no.
No thanks.
But the Quest is rad because it's like, if I ever visit you and you're like, hey, I want to try Beat Saber, I just throw it into a backpack,
and that's it.
And that's it. It works. Like,
that's what VR should be. And I'm hoping, the PS5 coming, their next gen, or
I'm curious to see what their next gen VR is.
The PSVR 2 inverted commas is just a standalone. Hey, it'll sync with your PlayStation, but no need for cables, anything like that. I don't know how it'd work because they rely on their camera unless they.
Yeah, but I think they're going to redesign that because I think they took a bunch of parts that were, there and kind of made a VR solution, which works, but is not the best.
It is actually very clever, to be honest, because it is. Oh, yeah. It's like, our camera and the ones didn't really solve that well.
No, they really, they use those, but those are not VR devices.
No.
So my hope for PlayStation's next VR is inside-out tracking as well. So that you don't need a camera to track the ones or the headset. So you just plug in the headset, which is fine if that's a cable, but everything else is.
Yeah.
And if Oculus can do it for $400, I assume PlayStation could manage something similar. Yeah.
I mean, wasn't original PSVR about $400? So, yeah.
So yeah, that would be my hope for the next one.
We can only hope.
Let's see. There's an entry here with no name. It just says PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I love that game.
I can't wait for that
game. We've got Team Sonic Racing coming to PC, PS4,
another kart racer.
And Switch. Apparently, it's very good as well.
So many good kart races.
The last Sonic races, Sonic All Stars, was surprisingly good.
Oh, yeah?
Jeff kept telling me, he's like, this is like Mario Kart, but done a bit better. This was before Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had come out. Yeah. And he was right. That game was really good. So this one's apparently just as good. So I'm excited to give that a go.
Sonic.
Total War 3 Kingdoms.
Okay.
I know there's a petition going around for them to make a Total War Game of Thrones game, which I think would work quite well.
Yeah. That would be quite interesting, actually.
Tennis World Tour Roland Garros edition.
Ooh. Who the hell's Roland Garros?
I think it's the name of a master. One
Tennis
of the
player?
Roland Garros. No, man. Fuck. I think Roland Garros is one of the big competitions, like the French one. Maybe?
Oh,
I don't know.
Was
I might be laughing at you and butchering
was
it
he
myself.
not maybe a tennis player that they named a whole tournament after him? I've never heard that name in my life.
Roland Garros.
If you're like World Tennis Pete Sampras edition,
it's the French Open. The French Open, also called Roland Garros.
See, now I never knew that. I just know it as the French Open.
At the Stadia Roland Garros in Paris.
The
French venue is named after the French aviator Roland Garros. Okay.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can't believe I didn't make that connection.
Swine, but spelt S.W. You get it.
Swine?
Swine.
Speaking of swine, apparently there's a whole lot of swine flu going around.
Really?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
That's,
So
well, okay then.
Stay safe, yeah?
Yeah, stay safe. Visit your doctor.
Yeah.
There's a VR game called Wave Circles.
Nice. Do you wave and you make circles?
Hot damn, yeah.
What a premise. I'd buy that game.
That's about it.
Is that
there's
it?
other stuff, but I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
And next week there's...
What's coming out on May 26th? Anything? Nothing?
May 20, your birthday?
Yeah, nothing on my birthday. Boo.
No, but that's on a weekend. Why would they release
I don't know.
Next week's actually some cool games. There's a Void Bastards.
Ooh.
There's a Blood and Truth, which is that big PSVR game, which looks pretty cool. Layers of Fear 2, which everyone says is pretty good.
Oh, there's a sequel? I never played the first one. It looked terrifying. Layers of Fear.
Yeah, so that's all coming next week.
Okay, it's we are really in that quiet period now. Otherwise, where
June is coming, and that's E3 month, and that's when you're going to
get some. Oh man, I can't wait for new announcement.
I already know quite a few things.
And talk off mark.
Yeah, I know a couple of things.
Divulge later. So we get to the news.
Yeah, I can't recall there being big news. I think
Yeah, a couple of pieces.
We discussed
maybe.
oh good lord, what's going on here? We discussed the Direct, the Super Mario Maker Direct, which was really good. I'm very excited.
Actually, I need to go back and watch it.
Yeah. You can watch it on your Switch. I watched it on my Switch.
Do you find that your Switch buffers videos though?
Mine didn't. But it does sometimes.
Have you ever
definitely.
Have you ever popped open your Switch and it says new trailer or news? I'm like, I want to watch it. Then it just never works properly, and I don't know why.
I definitely have had that happen.
It's so annoying.
Destiny 2 hasn't been in the news for something negative in a while, so I guess Bungie felt the need to kind of rectify that. They are nerfing a lot of the game's big exotics, which has angered a lot of people because, and I agree with this sentiment, Destiny 2 has a lot of exotics, but only a handful are actually useful.
Okay.
So instead of Bungie making the ones that are useless better, they are taking the ones that are actually useful and making them worse, which just decreases the pool of...
Yeah. I love that header though.
It's
Jack
great.
Nicholson is the Joker
with his super long revolver. Yeah.
Good job, Darren.
Good job.
I need to start handing out awards to Darren every week.
I mean, you used to with the...
Yeah, with the weekly wrap.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Oh my god, even that header.
We wanted to talk about this, the Epic Game Store sale, which is both good and a mess at the same time.
Yeah.
So how does it work? Give us a rundown.
Well, my understanding is that Epic is basically giving $10 off games, but they're footing the bill for that.
Yes.
But it's been weird in that it's decreasing value, and I suppose in some ways for consumers, or it's that the perception.
Yeah.
And publishers are now yanking the games off the store for that reason.
So what's confusing is that Epic is saying that all publishers knew what the terms of their sale were before the sale went up. So it's very strange that it took like a day for the sale to be up for publishers to be like, yo, this is fucked.
Why you got to do me like that?
We're taking this off. Yeah. But basically, so they're up to like 75% discounts on some games. And then if a game was above, I think it was $20 or something, Epic would just take $10 off and they would foot the bill for that.
Which is
so
insane.
Developers don't lose cash, which is kind of nice because there's been so many studies on how Steam sale and bundles devalue games to a point that actually hurts developers.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, like you could get pre-order games like Control, Remedy's Control, and Vampire the Masquerade 2 for like $15. And those are games that aren't out yet and should be $60.
Games, yeah.
So that's a bit of a problem. I mean, it's cool for the consumer, but your perception of value gets completely warped. And I don't blame the developers from taking it off sale, even though they are getting the full price of the game. You know, they're not losing money.
It's interesting though. I mean, it's Epic's first sale. I suppose there is a learning curve involved. Look, in their defense, I think it's a really nice idea.
I do, yeah. I like that they are covering the cost.
They're covering the cost. I mean, what we've always said at the Epic Store, people say like, no, they're doing this, and oh my god, this upset Steam, blah blah blah. But it's really good for the consumer.
Oh yeah,
and
this is great.
This is just another move of like, oh hey, you can save money on brand new games or like existing games, get them super cheap. So I don't know, maybe this is just a repercussion that they hadn't anticipated or reaction they didn't think about.
I definitely think it's at the case, and it's exasperated by their strange regional pricing, because the reason we could get the games for so cheap is because for some reason games like Control and Vampire the Masquerade, without any sale prices applied, are $27. So that regional pricing is just wrong. Something's incredibly wrong there. And again, as a consumer, if you want to pick up games real cheap, this is awesome, but it hurts the developer in the long run. And Epic needs to juggle the two and balance those two very well. But the sale's still going on. You can pick up games
going on for a month.
Yeah.
So
I would 100% advise picking up Hades. What a game.
Yeah, I saw that was on sale. I really want to pick that up. But just thinking of Epic footing the bill, I'm like, that is
a
long time to run a sale and to foot the bill for like millions of sales. But I suppose it just shows that Epic is printing out that Fortnite money. So they've got it.
The fact that they can afford to do that is,
This is a pretty damn big news, actually.
Sony and Microsoft are forming a cloud gaming and AI partnership.
Which, let's just back up
Wild.
a second, okay?
Wild.
We've spoken about this. I don't know when it was, when maybe Google showed off Stadia, and even before then saying like Microsoft's got their Azure backbone, cloud gaming is the future essentially.
Yeah.
And not
What's
just
Sony
us.
gonna do?
Everyone has said, what are Sony going to do? They don't have the infrastructure. What are they going to do? Because they going to lose the next console generation purely based on that, was our assumption. Imagine the shock of many a person when, well, especially us, because I think we woke up to the news, or did we?
It was one evening. I just came home and I saw this. I was like, what the fuck?
It was such a surprise thing. I'm like, oh hey, Sony and Xbox are partnering, and
they were the last combination I foresaw in this.
Microsoft are letting Sony basically piggyback off Azure, and it's like, what happened?
I was chatting to Jeff about it, and I was like, how starved for options must Sony have been? Because like, they clearly maybe approached Google, and Google's like, nope. Fuck you, we got Stadia, we don't need you. I assume they went to Amazon, but there's been so many rumblings about Amazon magicking up something of their own for gaming. But like, between AWS, Amazon's web services, and Microsoft, those are the two biggest ones you could think of. I would have never expected Microsoft to be the option Sony went with.
Honestly, like, say Sony did approach Microsoft. I imagine if I were Microsoft, I'd be like, nah, fam, you are competition. Like, sorry.
I don't know. I think Phil Spencer's being really shrewd here, because like, he's fighting battle on two fronts. He's fighting Sony, but he's also fighting Microsoft internally, because Satya Nadella, Microsoft CEO, even though he promoted Phil Spencer to a more senior position within Microsoft Core, I still think he thinks Xbox is a bit of a problematic venture for Microsoft in general. So this, I think, like, solidifies their position, because like, no matter if Xbox is doing badly, they're getting money from Sony to host all this stuff.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. It's very clever, but on a surface level, I do think it
seems strange.
It's like getting to bed with your enemy, and it's like, that's weird.
So basically, this doesn't mean Sony and Microsoft are working together on new hardware or anything. It just means that Sony will now have access to Microsoft's Azure service for what they call cloud gaming and multiplayer services. And also the future of AI development. So what I think is that, firstly, PlayStation might use Azure services for multiplayer servers, which benefits us locally greatly. Because we just got an Azure server up and running, and Microsoft should turn on multiplayer services soon. So we'll have local servers for that.
Hallelujah.
So that might be applied to a lot of PlayStation games,
that'll be
off the backbone.
Phenomenal.
We'll also have PlayStation CDN locally, which we have a Microsoft one, but it means downloads to PSN might be a lot faster.
Oh my God, please.
These are all things that I'm assuming Sony's going to use Azure for.
Well, I mean,
I don't see any reason why they wouldn't.
Yeah, if you've got that backbone,
they haven't announced
why wouldn't you use it? Yeah.
But the big thing is streaming. I just think whatever streaming plans Sony has, PlayStation Now, because PlayStation Now works, but it doesn't have the reach. So I assume that they'll just use Azure for this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, what other option do they have?
I mean, this seems like the most logical.
But you're right, it is clever of Microsoft, because they're going to be
licensing
making
fees for days.
Yeah, they're just going to be taking a small cut of Sony's profits, and so it's a win-win for them actually.
Yeah, it was like when Apple was competing with Samsung, and I might be butchering this a bit, but I remember this being the case. Apple was competing with Samsung on the phone front, but all the iPhone cameras were being bought from Samsung.
Was it not the screens, or was it both?
The screen or cameras?
But it is something along those lines of like they're big competitors, but one supplying the other.
Exactly, yeah. And so, Apple tried for years to get out of their part, and they eventually did. But like, it was a big thing. Like iPhone would always outsell Samsung, but Samsung's profits were always higher because every iPhone was also giving them cash.
Yeah, it's a win-win for Microsoft in that if they win the next gen, they win the next gen. If Sony does well, Microsoft's busy piggybacking off some of the licensing.
This is the cash injection Microsoft needed after a bad gen. And I think this really shores them up. It shores up Xbox as a business within Microsoft, because there was so many talks 2-3 years ago, like, Microsoft's going to sell Xbox. Microsoft's going to do this. Like, this definitely shows that's not going to happen, I don't think.
And I do wonder what this means for crossplay.
Yes, very interesting.
Because-
if Sony goes like, hey, we can't crossplay, we're running on the fucking same servers.
It's like, what do you mean you can't cross-play?
yeah.
What is
Literally
your
just
excuse?
Just put a crossover cable in that little
That's-
server.
yeah.
Done.
Just connect the Xbox port to the PlayStation
Yeah,
port.
they're
and it's so
literally
easy.
next to each other. Yeah.
So
Interesting times.
that really excites me. And what's
Very
exciting is that next gen is around the corner.
Oh, yes.
Like,
I mean,
we're-
Microsoft's going to announce their stuff next
They're
month.
going to announce next month, and I don't know if they'll release it next year, but I think all bets seem to be that 2020 is the year that the next gen kicks off, and that's not far.
And there's lots of news of stuff coming before E3. Ubisoft is rumored to reveal Watch Dogs 3 before E3. Sony is apparently announcing something to do with Last of Us 2 before E3.
Hallelujah.
Like, there's all these
Yeah,
things
because
happening.
Sony's not at E3, so
Yeah, I love how during their State of Play thing, when they revealed Final Fantasy 7 again, they're like, you'll hear more about the game in June. It's like,
where?
it's like where? Tell us where.
What-
You're not
what-
going to be there? Oh.
What was the typical PlayStation slots? It's like the Monday at
The
6
Monday.
p.m., for
Microsoft's taking
example.
that slot now.
No, but it's like, well, Sony can just schedule states of play
Imagine
during
they do that.
E3. So, like,
Imagine.
why not?
I would not put it past them.
What's
Would not
stopping
put it
them?
past
They don't need to have a whole anything. They're just like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
here's our big hour-long conference. It's a Nintendo Direct, basically.
Well, speaking of E3, Activision this year, just this week, which seems really late, said that they're not having booth space at E3. So the actual E3 like show floor is looking dire. Like at the
what
moment.
are you going to go do in Los Angeles?
But this is the thing. Like I have my schedule and it's filling up, and there's things there that I'm seeing,
Stuff.
which I'm like, this is really
yeah,
important.
because
to see.
I mean, if we take a step back, you think PlayStation's not there. Okay, you're missing out on the PlayStation conference. Doesn't I mean you're missing out on PlayStation exclusives.
PlayStation's not there, yeah. But the thing is, like, a lot of the stuff is like EA is not there, but they're at another event at the same time. Same with Microsoft. Like, the fact that they are there during the same week is still very important because all the journalists from around the world are there during that week.
yeah.
So it looks dire for the ESA and E3 show floor. And I think if you're a consumer and you're buying a ticket for the event, it's becoming less and less worth it. But like as a show and as a week event, it is still very
There's
important.
still lots of stuff happening.
I got a good appointment with
Oh,
CD
no.
Projekt Red.
Interesting. I wonder what they'll be showing.
Yeah, I wonder what they'll be showing. A
God
good
damn.
hour showing. Yeah,
I mean, that's what they did
and
last
some
year.
unannounced things.
Shh, don't tease me like this.
So not Sea of Thieves. My goodness. Skull and Bones. That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
The ship game from Ubisoft. Remember that
Is that
thing?
still coming?
Yeah, but not this year anymore. Again, got
What?
delayed. Yeah.
Oh.
So
That game was shown how long ago?
I played it last year at E3. It was really fun. I thought it was actually really
I mean,
fun.
I'm not.
But
I
it got
don't.
revealed, I think, 2 years ago.
I don't begrudge a game for taking time to finish, but
No,
there
but it's
are
taken too long.
instances where it's too long.
It's taken way too long. So yeah, that got pushed out of Ubisoft's next fiscal year. So it's only coming out at the earliest April 2020.
Oh boy.
But Ubisoft still has 3 unannounced AAA games before the end of their financial year. And everyone's like, cool, Splinter Cell. But then there was a leak that suggested that Ubisoft has been trying to get another Splinter Cell off the ground, but it just hasn't happened. And in the past 2 years, they've cancelled one.
Oh, no.
And that lines up with things I know about it because I've heard rumblings 2 years ago that there was going to be one announced at E3 and it never happened.
Never happened. Is that the year they showed Steep?
Oh, good lord. I actually do think that it was.
It might have been like, oh shit, Splinter Cell's cancelled.
Yeah.
We've got to put something.
But I've heard the same. So I'm still holding out hope that we get surprised. But if we don't,
No. So wait, those 3 unannounced titles, that excludes the new Tom
So-
Clancy's
that excludes Ghost Recon because there's 4 games coming out. One of them's Ghost Recon. One of them will almost certainly be a Watch Dogs.
And Assassin's Creed, I imagine, will be another one.
But will they announce it? Because that's not out this year.
No, they might tease it.
So I wonder what the other 2 are.
Because remember, there were rumblings about a Viking Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, but that won't be out this year.
No, but I mean, do you not think they might tease it at least?
Maybe,
Because I
yeah.
mean, I know normally they'll say like, "Hey, Assassin's Creed out this year," for the most
be,
part. So
could be.
Maybe they just tease it. I don't know.
I wonder if they'll announce a new Far Cry this early.
Please no. Like, I think Far Cry is one of those franchises that needs to take an Assassin's Creed and just.
I think so,
chill.
but the thing is, it keeps selling. Like Far Cry 5 was like one of the best-selling Far Cries. Like, and I agree with you. I think they become extremely boring to
It's
me.
Far Cry
I didn't
5.
like 5 at all.
And they had a spin-off now. I mean,
Yeah.
an expansion, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
New
It's
Dawn or whatever.
the Rage 2
I know
confused.
Jeff wants a new Mario and Rabbids. He wants a sequel to that.
I mean, I never played that, but by all means, if Mario XCOM, why not?
I thought it was fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
I also thought Rust was fun, and that is a great game. Just kidding. Never played. Wow.
Why you got to do me
Wow,
like
wow,
this?
could have done like this. What else was there? Wait,
There's a fan-made Nightmare Fuel horror game where it's Garfield but Lovecraftian.
Oh, no,
and
I
it's
saw that.
terrifying. Darren showed me this and it haunted
Why?
me.
I mean, look at that screenshot. It's haunting.
horrifying. It's just like a Lovecraftian Garfield hunting John.
What's it called? Phil? So listeners can go Google it themselves. You just need to see the one screenshot and you'll be like,
I
huh.
don't know what it's called actually.
What is this?
See.
Tell us. There's a Garfield and the Quest for Spaghetti.
I think it's called Lasagna Cat.
The Quest for Mom Spaghetti. Lasagna Cat.
Look how Darren opens this article. Garfield was never funny. Wow.
Why you like
Wow.
this? Why,
That's
Darren?
just not right, but okay.
Oh my god. No, put those screenshots away. This is terrifying. I know what it's called, but anyways, it's some game.
It's harrowing. You just
wow.
you just have to Google like Garfield Lovecraft and you probably
You'll
find
cry.
it.
I'll never sleep again.
Yeah, no.
Mm-mm.
No, thank you.
No thanks. What was I going to say? Oh, you know it's not in the news that it won't be in this feed of news, but that happened last night was the Call of Duty stuff.
Oh yeah,
So
there's a report on Kotaku.
yeah, so this year we all know is Modern Warfare, but next year you'd think it's going to be the World War II. See, whatever that studio would work on.
So this year is Infinity Ward, and so many rumors pointing towards it being Modern Warfare 4, which is fun.
Likely.
Then next year is meant to be Sledgehammer.
Yeah, which...
Yeah, and according to Kotaku, Raven was actually leading the project with Sledgehammer, like supporting it. And that was apparently going to be a Cold War thing, maybe set in the Vietnam War.
That'd be interesting.
But now, apparently, for some unknown reason, it's being scrapped and Treyarch is taking over, which means they have a whole year less to make a game. And they
Black
are
Ops
apparently
5.
going full steam ahead on Black Ops 5, yeah.
Which
is, I mean, this pattern hasn't been altered in years.
In years, yeah.
Years. I think the first time it was altered was in Sledgehammer was introduced,
yeah.
And then it
With
suddenly
Advanced
became a
Warfare.
3-year cycle, yeah.
But
I wonder.
I wonder
what
though
happened
if it's because I really think, I mean, I don't have sales numbers to back this up, but I think Black Ops 4 is
sold super well, yeah.
one of the more. It's always been one of the more successful Call of Duty franchises. Call of Duty
But I
Call of
wonder
Duty
if
entries.
Raven or Sledgehammer just didn't.
I don't know.
Because I know Sledgehammer lost Mike Scoville and not Mike Scoville.
That is Michael. Well, they didn't lose him, but he got promoted to.
It's Michael Condrey
and Glenn Schofield. Sorry,
Glenn
that's
Schofield,
it. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, sorry. So they were promoted in Activision, and then they both left Activision.
yeah. So I don't know.
I wonder if that shook up the studio, or if like whatever Raven was producing just wasn't up to scratch.
And
But for them to make that drastic of a change is huge.
Because if imagine, I mean, we all knew that. Who's the one who does Black Ops? Is it Treyarch?
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously were working on their next title, but to just kick up that schedule by a year.
Yeah, to basically take a third of their time out of it. And they just came off Black Ops 4, which they're still supporting. So the crunch there is going to be
insane. Yeah.
They basically have a year and a half now to create a brand new Call of Duty.
Which is...
No.
I mean, the thing is, I think that they can pull it off, but it's going to be very much Black Ops 4, but with new stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where you'd find the time to reinvent anything in such a short space.
I mean, it is a report, so it's not confirmed yet, but whew. Kotaku's
have a
pretty
good track record.
Yeah, pretty good track record.
Oh, Oddworld Soulstorm.
Yeah, so this got us into a confusing discussion during the week.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea if Soulstorm was a sequel
Or a prequel.
So
or something,
apparently, Oddworld is meant to be a what is it called? Quintilogy? It's four games.
Quintology, yeah. And this is even since I can remember back in the day when Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus come out. I always remember knowing that it was always going to be a series of games.
Yes.
And that just never
So the first one is Abe's Odyssey,
yeah,
correct?
And then Abe's Exodus.
And then Abe's Exodus.
And then after that
was Munch's
Odyssey, and then Stranger's Wrath, which...
So
my
Stranger's
understanding
Wrath
was-
is a spin-off.
Yeah.
But Munch's Odyssey is part of the four.
Was it part of the four?
Yeah,
I've never played
apparently.
it.
Apparently it's part of the four. But
Okay.
Soulstorm isn't the fourth game. It is a remake or a revisiting of
Exodus, yeah. Which makes sense given that the studio remade Abe's Odyssey with New and Tasty,
Yes.
which by all means did very well.
I
but
still
that-
need to play it.
I also still need. I actually had it. I got it on PS Vita.
Okay.
I don't know if it was a PS Plus thing, but I grabbed it on Vita and I didn't like the performance there, so I was like, I'm not going to play it here. I'll play it
Okay.
on some other platform.
Okay.
But the original Abe's Odyssey, I didn't know if I still included it in my top 10. Did I include it in my top 10?
You definitely
I think I did
Yeah,
because
you
that
definitely
game
did.
still stands out to me as one of the most like original pieces of like gaming art. It's such a unique setting, such a unique
It's also
world.
got a great message
Yeah.
about like industrialism.
Yeah.
And
Even but like that aside, the platforming itself, like it's a very hard game, but it's very precise, great platforming and just puzzle solving.
all I'm thinking about now is the weird noise Abe makes when you like hypnotizing someone. It's like, it's so weird.
So they remade it, and New and Tasty by all accounts was a proper ground up remake, but done really well, and that was done years ago. So a sequel makes sense, and I think they've been teasing it for a long time, to be honest.
As far
And
as I can
they
tell.
finally said, "Oh, hey, we're redoing Abe's Exodus."
Because from what I can tell, Abe's Exodus wasn't really received that well back in the day.
It's a weird thing because I played it and I loved it.
Okay.
But that's one gaming memory I know where I finished a game in a weekend.
Oh, is it?
Where
Wow.
I played it beginning to end. I was like, this game's amazing. But I don't think it did that well.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
But
that's
hey,
apparently
it's-
coming out, I think, next year.
Yeah. So it's time to play New and Tasty.
And it looks really good. Soulstorm looks real good. I watched the trailer. I was like, yeah, I'll 100% play this.
we should play New and Tasty.
Yeah, we should.
Is that the gaming news?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm done. Oh, you should watch that
Oh,
God of War
yeah.
documentary.
I watched it. Oh, man.
I need to watch it still. Apparently, it's really good.
It's really I can't believe it's that long. It's like a full feature 2-hour long
hectic.
documentary. Yeah. When they announced it, I really thought it would be a 45-minute, hour-long look.
It's like a 2 hour
It's a proper show, like pre-production, like even following Ascension, how, like what was the next move, and then showing just the whole beginning to end. And it's amazing because, as you can imagine, developing a game like that, there's a lot of high stakes. Like, shit, are we doing the right thing here?
I can imagine.
And even the early play testing, they show how a lot of people like, and this is the general sentiment when they showed the trailer, people were like, I don't want to babysit a child. Like, what is this? Is not God of War, and to still like just ride it out and be like, no, we really believe this is going to work, and we know what a
it's huge
success
risk,
story.
massive risk.
But you're watching the footage back and you're like, oh man, they were under a lot of pressure to get this right, and
I like
they did.
these candid looks at development. There should be more of this
Yeah,
stuff.
it really should
Yeah.
be. I mean, I'd almost want a documentary in the same vein for what they're called, Hello Games, No Man's Sky.
Oh yes,
To
yeah,
see
I'd
like
love to know.
how they went through their stuff and post launch how
I'd love to know. Yeah,
this wasn't good and how they still like carried on.
this is why I
carried on.
appreciate the work done by Daniel Dwyer and Nokia.
Yeah,
because they're
he
giving
looks
these
at those
intimate
stories,
looks
yeah.
at stuff. I think his latest one's on Telltale and the last days
Oh
of
really?
Telltale. Yeah,
Shit.
and to me, I feel if more people who played games understood this process of making games, there would be more of an appreciation of, the difficulties and when they go wrong, why they went wrong.
It's not as simple like
just a better.
Yeah.
If people understood it a bit more, I think the culture around games would be better. So.
I mean, but even just, you don't have to watch, like, don't get me wrong, watch documentaries, but you don't even have to watch to realize that putting a game together is
hard. It's
a
magic.
monumental thing. Like, I still can't fathom how you need to have the story and you need to add visuals to, like, visual and gameplay over that story, and you need to tie it together with the soundtrack, and then, I don't know, I almost envision, like, one person taking part A, part B, and just, like, putting it together and then putting it on a disc. Like, I don't understand how that works.
And then on top of it, it's such an artistic thing. So it's not even just these, like, we need to hit these check boxes. It's like someone is pouring their heart and soul into something that they think is artistic and beautiful, and then putting it out into the world and hoping people receive it in a way that they hoped it would be received. So, yeah. Should we move on to questions? Should we fly?
Yes.
We
have one question.
You need to fly.
We're actually in good time.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, but on that, go watch. It's called Raising Kratos.
There's also a documentary on Netflix about the making of For Honor.
I actually
can't remember the name now.
Also can't remember. I remember
it's on Netflix.
That. Yeah. We have one whole question this week from.
Oh yeah, if you want to get hold of us, questions at Checkpoint Chat on Twitter, Facebook.com/Checkpoint Chat or Checkpoint Chat podcast@gmail.com. Reset that counter.
I mean, you can see my cute gif.
I love that gif. It was really good. Good fluffy boy.
It's a good doggo. Good doggo gif. We have one question from John Michael. Who says, I feel like every game has a skill tree these days. Is it just me? Am I going mad? Don't get me wrong. I love my RPGs and strategy games, so a clever skill tree is right up my alley. But no, you're not wrong. We just spoke about Rage, how that
which has multiple skill trees.
It was too over the top. I mean, don't get me wrong. A skill tree in that game is not unheard of. Doom does it well. I feel where was it?
It's
Doom?
not a skill tree.
It's not a skill tree. You get to choose like either or.
Like you have when you find those ardent energy tanks, like you can increase your shield or your health or your something. I can't.
But even the weapons, it was like
two things.
You choose either or.
Like you choose an alt fire.
I mean, and Rage has that with its weapons where you choose either or, but then it's across 5 different levels, and then you still need to think about you
need 2 resources to unlock.
Yeah, you need different resources. You've got a project skill tree. You've got crafting. You've got your your suits skill tree. And it's like I think a bit much.
I think what happened was that because a lot of people are like, well, skill tree, does that mean it's an RPG now? And that's nowhere near the case. I think what happened is as games grew, the time you spend with them grew as well, and designers had to find a way to keep it feeling like you were learning something and progressing. Well, so like with God of War, like it's a long game, so you need to feel like your skill set is expanding. In the same way that like Watch Dogs, you need to feel like your abilities are expanding as you explore the open world. Whereas if you look at a game like Call of Duty, whose campaign is 6 hours, you don't need that because like you're just getting handed new weapons and new scenarios, and by the time you realize that you're not actually doing anything new, it's done.
Yeah.
So it's all a form of padding in
different ways.
Yeah, and I think there's good ways to do it and there's bad ways to do it. Rage does it badly because I don't think half of the things that you unlock are actually useful or make it, and it doesn't feel like I'm playing the game differently when I unlock them. Yeah.
I mean, like Days Gone as well had its own different skill trees.
Man, I kept forgetting it existed.
Yeah, like they were okay, but it was never, unless you were unlocking like the abilities right at the end of the skill tree, there were some ones worth getting. Like
there were a handful.
The ability to hold more ammunition. I was like, that's cool.
Or like regaining a bit of health on a melee kill.
I reached the end of all 3 skill trees in my playthrough, and eventually I had skill points that I had to spend. I was like, none of the other stuff really feels like my time. I just put them into whatever was available because I had them, but it's never a thing of like what is this? What ability am I going to choose that will really help me in this game?
Yes.
Whereas like games, I suppose, like God of War, that skill tree was very much. I felt like it was helping you progress. Always like you've got your set of attacks, but then they just add one.
It gave you like new strings.
Yeah, they give you like just one little thing, and then they give you like another little thing, and then by the end of the game, it's all pieced together so well that you're using that controller like in to this day. I think they've mapped out that controller so well that they make use of every little button.
But it feels very natural.
It feels very natural. I never once thought like, how do I do that combo? It's like I know I need to hold this and push this. It's very 100%. Straightforward, and that was done well. I mean, and God of War also had like its armor sets and that it's very like it was RPG, but it wasn't RPG heavy. I don't feel like it was that as good balance. I feel between the two. Like it wasn't light, but it wasn't heavy. It was a good middle
like
ground.
Assassin's Creed does the exact same thing now, where it feels more like an RPG, but it's just like they've given you more options to craft the way you play in the way you like. I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn was the same way.
Yeah.
Even though you eventually got everything, like at the beginning you could choose the style that you
Different skill
played.
trees,
And I don't think that makes it an RPG. I just think it makes it like
it just adds a bit of flavor to the game, I think.
Depth
But
to the game,
it does feel like every game does have a skill, and it's not a bad thing. It's just if it needs to be done.
If it's
properly,
done poorly, it really feels like it's done poorly.
Yeah.
And it shows. So I think, like you said, games need to show a bit of restraint. I think Doom is a really good example of like, we're going to introduce some player choice in the way you approach things, but at the end of the day, we are giving you weapons at certain points in the game because we feel like you need this here. We are not letting you unlock them at will, and we are only really giving you the chance to slightly buff up like a health or something based on what you think is fun. So
like that makes sense.
They are still very much scripting the way you work through that game, and they're keeping tight control over it. And I think a lot of people think that if we put a skill tree in and give players that choice, they will immediately know how to, to choose the skills right for that point of the game. Or they think that giving the choice frees them up from having to think about that, and that's where problems arise.
Yeah. Problems arise in Zero Dawn.
Get out of here.
Get out. That's the only question we have, and we're done.
No mixed questions this week.
No mixed. Why are you mad at us? Was it something we said?
But yeah, if you want to get a hold of us, Checkpoint Chat on Twitter, facebook.com/checkpointchat, or email us, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. You got to fly.
No, we're fine.
You good? I thought you said you needed to leave at 10.
No. Did I say 10?
I swear to
no,
God,
I've got to be somewhere at 11:30 for 12. So in Pretoria.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine. We've got still got some time.
We made it. We did it.
We made it, fam. Still got nachos to eat though. Have you eaten yours?
Got so many.
Lenske.
I'm dying to eat my popcorn, but I'm too scared to open the packet.
Wow. We won't hear you. I don't know if you guys said that, but Lenska said she's got a packet of popcorn and she's been too scared to open it. So
I would love some popcorn.
She's worrying about disturbing.
We've also got lots of Red Bull again.
Oh my.
Shout out to Luca and Red Bull.
Look at this empty fridge that just needs Red Bulls in it. Yeah, shout out to Red Bull.
Shout out to them for giving us wings. Not sponsored, they're just like giving us free Red Bull.
How nice.
How nice. What great guys. And we got sugar free this time. Hell yeah.
Hallelujah. No sugar highs. I'll drink all the sugar ones.
I will alternate between them. I've also run out of Breezer.
No.
I drank my last one yesterday.
No, did you cry? The little tear form, you go, wah.
I did. I stretched it out. I drank them when I really, really wanted one.
Well, that's what I was telling you. When we came back from Madeira in 2017, we bought back a 6-pack, and that lasted us till June. I think we had like one a month.
Yeah, that's essentially what I
we need that sweet Breezer taste.
Every
it's been
2
a month.
or 3 weeks, I was like, I could go for it. And they're small bottles. So I was like, every sip I was savoring it.
Like,
it
delicious.
Yeah.
Tastes like Madeira.
I went to a Pick and Pay nearby here that sells a lot of Portuguese stuff, and they had the chocolate milk, the cocoa, but it was like 20 rand a bottle. I was like, fuck this.
It's too much.
It's really, really tempting.
I'd rather just make Nesquik.
Yeah, exactly. So good.
Chocolate milk.
That's a Checkpoint Chat for this week.
Episode 54. Be a better parent. Remember your child's birth.
I'll be better next week. Well, I will be better because you won't be here. So
I know.
I don't know what we're going to do. We haven't planned this yet.
We haven't planned. But so we might miss next week. We might not.
Might have special guest Glenn. Might
not. Might have a break off.
Don't know. We'll see. But we'll let everyone know over social media. Well, Matty will. He has control.
I have the power.
Assuming direct control.
Yes. Yeah,
Thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
We'll see you next week. Bye.